The world decided how to treat you before you said a single word. And it decided you were poor, not because of your bank account. You could have money in the bank and still broadcast poverty in a way that turns every room against you. And you could have almost nothing and carry yourself like a man the world can't afford to lose. Because here's the thing nobody will tell you straight. Looking poor has almost nothing to do with money. It's a posture. It's the flinch when a price comes up. It's the way you chase. It's the way you rush and explain and grab and brag. It's a set of signals that leak out of you all day long, and every person you meet reads them in seconds and files you under desperate. And the world does something ugly to desperate men. It squeezes them, it lowballs them, it disrespects them, because it knows they have no other options. Machiavelli wrote that the one thing a prince must avoid above all is being held in contempt. He said a ruler seen as weak, changeable, or small invites attack from every direction, because contempt is an open invitation. The same law rules your life. When you look like you have no options, you become a target. When you look like you have options, the whole world softens. So today I'm going to show you the exact signals that make you look poor, no matter what's in your account. And the last one isn't a behavior at all. It's a belief buried so deep you don't know it's running your whole life. It's the root. Stay until the end, because everything above it grows out of that one root. And I'll tell you now, the answer is not to fake wealth. The man screaming about his watch is not rich. He's the poorest signal in the room, and I'll prove it. This is not about spending. It's about the posture of a man who knows there is always more where that came from. So before we begin, drop 5 words in the comments. I move like I have options. Type it. Feel the difference in your spine when you do. Then let's cut the poverty out of how you carry yourself. The first signal is the flinch. Watch what happens in your body when a price comes up. Something tightens, you wince, you suck air through your teeth, you treat every cost like a wound. And everyone watching learns the same thing in that half second. Money is pain to you, and a man for whom money is pain is a man with no options. The number comes up and your face falls. The bill arrives and you go quiet and tense. Someone names a price, and before you've even decided anything, your whole body has already announced, "That's too much for me." Here's the mechanism. The flinch is involuntary, and that's exactly why people trust it. Your words can lie, your reflexes can't. When you flinch at a cost, you tell the room your relationship with money is fear, and fear is the smell of scarcity. The man with options doesn't flinch, not because he wastes money, but because a price is just information to him. Yes or no, worth it or not, no pain, no drama. Machiavelli understood that men rid a leader's composure as proof of his strength. Lose your composure over a number, and you've shown everyone exactly how little you have. Picture the negotiation. Someone names a high figure. The poor posture flinches, gasps, immediately says, "Wow, that's a lot." The man with options doesn't move a muscle. He lets a calm silence sit. Then he says, "Walk me through what that includes." Same money. One man begged for mercy. The other made them justify themselves. So here's the directive. Train the flinch out of your body. The next time a price hits you, keep your face still and your voice flat. Feel the reflex rise and let it pass without moving. A price is a fact, not an attack. The man who can hear any number without flinching is the man no one can intimidate with one. And the second signal is the one you think makes you look rich. It's the loudest poverty tell there is. The second signal is the flex. You announce what you have. You mention the price of things. You find a way to work your money, your car, your deal into the conversation. You think you're building status. You're doing the opposite. The flex is the single clearest signal of a man who does not have enough, and everyone feels it but you. You drop the brand name. You mention what it cost. You post the receipt, the watch, the view, the win. You make sure people know you're doing well, because some part of you needs them to know. Here's the mechanism, and it's the reframe that changes everything. You only flex what you're insecure about. The man who truly has money almost never mentions it. because he has nothing to prove, and proving is what poor men do. When you announce your value, you tell the room the opposite of what you intended. You tell them you weren't sure they'd see it on their own. Real wealth is quiet, real status is calm. The loudest man in the room about his success is almost always the one standing on the thinnest ground. Machiavelli warned that a prince who must constantly display his greatness has already admitted he doesn't truly hold it. Power that's secure doesn't shout. It sits still and lets others do the talking. Picture the dinner. One man keeps steering the conversation to what he owns and what it cost. The other man says almost nothing about himself, asks good questions, and lets his calm do the work. Everyone leaves thinking the quiet one has more, and usually they're right. The flex didn't buy status, it sold it off one brag at a time, so the directive is hard for the ego. And it works instantly. Stop announcing. Never mention what something cost. Never work your wins into a conversation to be seen. Let people discover your value slowly, on their own, and it will multiply in their minds. The man who never flexes becomes the man everyone quietly suspects is the richest one in the room. And the third signal shows up in how you go after the things you want. The third signal is the chase. Watch how you pursue the job, the deal, the client, the person. You over-pursue. You follow up too fast, too often, too eager. You make it obvious how badly you want it. And nothing signals poverty like a man who chases, because chasing tells the world you have no other options. You send the follow-up an hour later, then another the next day. You reply to their message the second it lands. You accept the first offer, take the bad terms, say yes too quickly, because you're afraid it's the only chance you'll get. Here's the mechanism. Desperation lowers your price, always. When you chase, you hand the other side all the leverage, because you've shown them you need this more than they do. And the moment someone knows you need them more than they need you, they stop treating you as an equal and start treating you as prey. The man with options moves slowly because he isn't afraid of the door closing. There are other doors, and that lack of fear, more than anything you could say, is what makes people chase him instead. Machiavelli understood that the man who appears to need nothing holds all the power in any exchange, because he cannot be pressured with loss. Picture the offer that isn't good enough. The poor posture grabs it out of fear. The man with options says, "I appreciate it, and I'm going to think it over." Then he goes quiet, and he lets them wonder, and often the offer improves on its own, because now they're the ones afraid of losing him. He didn't chase, he let himself be chased, so the directive slow down every pursuit. When you want something badly, that's exactly when to move calm and unhurried. Do not send the eager follow-up. Do not accept the first number. Do not let anyone see how much you want it. The man who never chases becomes the man the world reaches for. Now stop with me here, because this next truth is the one they've sold you backwards your whole life. Here's what no one selling you a course or a lifestyle will ever admit. The loudest flexers are usually the most broke, and the calmest, quietest men in the room usually own the most. You've been trained to believe the opposite. You've been sold the idea that looking rich means showing it, and it's kept you signaling poverty your entire life. So tell me in the comments, and be honest about who you've been trying to be. Who's actually richer? The man screaming about his watch, or the man who never mentions money at all? And which one have you been performing? Say it below. The fourth signal is the frenzy. You're always rushing, always busy, always frantic, moving fast, breathless, behind. You wear it like a badge. This constant motion, this no time, so slammed, running late energy. You think it makes you look important. It makes you look poor. You rush into rooms apologizing for the time. You answer everything immediately because you can't afford to miss anything. You're always half a step behind your own life, sweating, scrambling, reacting. Everything is urgent, everything is now. Here's the mechanism. Frenzy is the body language of a man with no margin. When every minute is frantic, you're telling the world you have no cushion, no reserves, no room to breathe, which is the definition of scarcity. The man with real resources moves slowly because he can. he isn't afraid of pausing, because a pause won't ruin him. Calm is the ultimate signal of abundance, because only a man with enough can afford to be unhurried. Machiavelli observed that panic spreads downward from a leader and destroys the confidence of everyone beneath him, while a calm commander makes an entire army feel safe. Your frenzy does the same thing in reverse. It tells everyone around you that you're barely holding on. Picture the man walking into the high-stakes meeting. The poor posture arrives flustered, apologizing, phone out, breathless. The man with options walks in slow, sits down without a rush, takes a breath before he speaks. He acts like the meeting will wait for him, and so it does. His calm isn't an act. It's the posture of a man who knows he has more than enough time and more than enough options. So the directive, slow your movements down on purpose, walk slower, speak slower, pause before you answer. Stop performing busyness like it's a virtue. Real power is unhurried. The man who moves calm in a frantic world looks like the only one in the room who has enough. And looking like you have enough is how you start getting treated like it. And the fifth signal comes out every time you open your mouth about money. The fifth signal is the justification. You explain your money choices to people who never asked. You justify what you spent. You defend what you didn't buy. You narrate your budget out loud like you're on trial for it. And every unasked for justification about money broadcasts the same thing. You're not at peace with what you have. You say, I would have gotten it, but it was just too expensive. You say, I'm trying to save right now, so I can't. You explain why you drove the older car, why you skipped the trip, why you chose the cheaper thing, to people who didn't ask and don't care. Here's the mechanism. When you justify a money decision no one questioned, you reveal that you're still fighting that decision inside yourself. The man at peace with his choices doesn't explain them. He decides, and he moves on, because he owes no one an account of his money. But the man in scarcity feels judged for every dollar, so he pre-defends himself against a judgment that lives only in his own head. And the room hears all of it. They hear a man ashamed of his position, and shame is the loudest poverty there is. Machiavelli knew that a leader who over-explains his decisions invites others to question them, while the one who acts without justification is assumed to have his reasons. Picture the group deciding on an expensive plan. The poor posture says, oh, I can't. Money's tight right now. I really shouldn't. The man with options simply says, that's not for me this time, with no explanation and no apology, and changes the subject. One man confessed his scarcity. The other closed the topic like it was beneath discussion. And notice, he didn't lie, he just refused to justify, so the directive, never explain a money decision unless someone has a genuine right to the answer. When you decline something, decline it clean, not for me, not this time, then move on. Your finances are not a courtroom, and you are not the defendant. The man who never justifies his money looks like a man who answers to no one about it. And now the last signal, the one that isn't a behavior at all, the root everything else grows from. The final signal is the belief that there will never be enough. Here it is. Under the flinch, the flex, the chase, the frenzy, the justification, sits one buried belief. Deep down, you believe there is not enough, and there never will be. Not enough money, not enough chances, not enough time, not enough good things, not enough for you. And that single belief is the engine that generates every poverty signal you broadcast. Because watch how it works. If you believe there's never enough, of course you flinch at prices. Of course you chase, because you think this is the last chance. Of course you rush, because you're always about to run out. The scarcity isn't in your account, it's in your mind, and it leaks out of you in 100 small ways you can't control. Here's the mechanism, and there's hard research on it. In the year 2013, the researchers Senthil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir published a study of scarcity called simply Scarcity. And they found something brutal. The feeling of scarcity doesn't just describe your situation. It hijacks your mind. It narrows your focus down to the thing you lack, and it steals the mental bandwidth you need to think clearly, plan ahead, and act with composure. In other words, feeling poor makes you act poor, which keeps you poor. It's a trap that feeds itself. Machiavelli wrote that a man ruled by fear of loss will always make the smaller, weaker move, while the man who acts from strength shapes his own fortune. The scarcity belief is the fear of loss, running your whole life from the shadows. Picture the same opportunity landing in front of two men. The one ruled by scarcity grabs it in a panic, takes the bad terms, and signals desperation the whole way through. The man who believes there's always more looks at it calmly, negotiates without fear, and walks if it isn't right, because he knows another door is always coming. Same opportunity, two completely different men, separated by one belief. So here is the final directive, and it rebuilds everything above it. You have to change the belief at the root, or the signals never stop. Start acting in small ways like a man who has enough. Move slower, stop flinching, stop chasing, stop justifying. Not to fake wealth, but to rewire the belief underneath. Because the posture and the belief feed each other in both directions. Carry yourself like a man with options long enough, and slowly you become one. Abundance is not a number in an account. It's a way of standing in the world. So look at the signals together. The flinch that treats money as pain, the flex that begs to be seen, the chase that hands away all your leverage, the frenzy that shows you have no margin, the justification that confesses your shame, and under all of it, the buried belief that there will never be enough. Here's what changes when you cut them. People stop lowballing you, because you no longer look like a man who can be squeezed. Offers get better because you stop chasing them. Rooms treat you with more weight, because you move like a man who doesn't need them. And none of it required you to spend $1 more. It required you to stop broadcasting poverty and start carrying yourself like a man the world would be foolish to underestimate. Machiavelli's deepest lesson was that men respond to what they perceive, not to what is true. And you have been letting them perceive a poor man, no matter what you actually have. Change the signal, and you change how the entire world plays the game with you. Say it one more time and put it in the comments. I move like I have options, not louder. Not flashier, calmer, slower, and impossible to squeeze if this one shifted something in you. You're one of us now. Subscribe and stay close. The next video goes into the specific things you should never reveal about yourself at work. Because the information you give away for free is the exact information used to keep you down. It's about controlling what people know, and why the men who reveal the least rise the fastest. Don't miss it. Stop looking poor. Move like a man with options, and watch how differently the world treats you when it can no longer smell the scarcity on you.